Hello and welcome back to our second round lead card coverage from the 2018 MVP Open from Maple Hill Disc Golf Pro Tour final stop before the Disc Golf Pro Tour Finals, which is a different style of event. BigSexy commentary here with you, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling.
And nothing changed here in terms of separation. Everyone shot par on the front nine here. Nikko Locastro, Steve Brinster, Nate Sexton, Matt Dollar. But there are some birdies to be had on this back nine.
Yeah, and we need them. Hole 10, par 3, 380. As I said yesterday, playing 505. This is way uphill and guarded by the castle wall. Absolute crush to get a putt here.
And you can see that little rock wall just past this tree on the right side. That's where this pin used to be played several years ago. For the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, we've been playing this par 4 position out to the right. And that's a great shot there from Nate. It's up there. Long putt look at for the two.
Yeah, I was happy. Went with a grunt there. Put everything I had on that.
And Nikko trying to go with maybe the lower line flip up. Didn't quite commit to it, but a kick out. And he's still outside circle 2. Going that far uphill, that's almost like a 100-foot putt.
Yeah. Steve Brinster Destroyer on the way.
Kind of the low line.
Good kick.
To get the distance, you really have to be an elite 1% in the open field distance thrower to go hyzer over the top. And the rest of us that might have the distance to get there have to go with something low. That way we're not sacrificing the disc's airtime.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Dollar found a tricky spot here.
Sure. Good thing
Dollar. That's a good shot. He goes with it, gets out, hits a tree, drops inside circle 1.
He's a tricky player, so tricky spots are kind of his specialty. And nice look there. Good ad for Huck Lab, I believe. Or what? I don't know what that was, but something was spinning pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't Huck Lab, it's still a good ad for Huck Lab.
Yeah, now it is.
Oh, wow. You
almost.
Gotta want it.
Yeah, I did, I think.
Good save there from Dollar.
This is not going to be a rare score on this hole. 4 threes, very likely on this if you can get decent drives off the tee. And you can hit a couple little tricky putts. If you come up short of the wall, that putt is a little bit difficult. If you're up top here, really no problem. All of us are going to clean up, make our threes, and move on. Hole 11, par 4, 780 feet, slightly downhill. You want to get your drive out into the open, try not to get stymied by any of these little trees, and then set up a tunnel shot all the way back there to the pin that's back here on the, almost in the sun back there. It's a difficult shot because you need to be lined up correctly. If you don't have a good angle, very, very tough to get the disc to penetrate as far back as you need it to.
And there was actually not that much wind to speak of, but any wind that was present was pushing as tailwind, which is kind of unique for this hole, actually. We typically have a headwind coming up off the Christmas tree farm, but it's allowing for some big drives. And Nate Sexton, Mr. Safety Pants.
That was a bomb.
That was a hit. Big shot there. By the way, I'm just giving Nate a hard time because the whole safe thing isn't really... It's not really how you play. It's just your perception, which I really think it's a funny thing to play off of.
I like it. I'm not offended. Sexton fans, don't go too hard on him.
You mean Safton fans?
Yeah, Safton fans.
And Steve going with a big high hyzer just for placement there. That's going to keep him in the middle with a longer look than some of the other players will have, but one that he can actually see the pin and have that straight gap to it from there.
And Dollar throwing that force over Annie, overstable. One of the few players that goes to that line for distance.
Yeah, I believe he's going with an Octane here. I had the chance to throw a few really overstable MVP discs across the pond yesterday in the distance showcase, and after it was over. And man, they make some really overstable drivers. Like we could not get over on them.
Dollar a little wide, but it kind of snuck up in there.
Certainly did. That's a look from Circle's edge. You'll take that on this hole.
Steve also a little wide, needs a sneak.
That was working nicely. The angle was really nice, but just a push a couple feet too wide.
Nikko also a little wide.
However,
but he's got that sneaky factor.
Oh, wow, he does. Yeah, inside 25 feet. Very rarely see trees go to the right side of that beech tree and get in there for a look. And Sexton, big shot off the tee and huge crush hyzer over the top. Who is this guy?
Got to do it, man. The trees were, I throw so far, the trees get in my way. I have to make up my own way.
Interesting.
It was just no real play up the gap. I would have liked to go up the gap, but the spruce was taking all my angle.
We got 49 feet here. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's the working man's 3 there. Incredible.
Yeah, happy to get it. And I got to thank Ricky Wysocki. I was looking at that putt going uphill, and I thought to myself, try to put this as hard as Ricky would.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Put it 15 feet over the flag. Not over the basket, over the flag.
Yeah.
And have it drop in.
Nikko with a nice birdie there. And a couple of tap-in pars coming up.
Steve, not that many bogeys, not that many birdies, just kind of cruising along. Got to get something going here as this is moving day here at Maple Hill. Only 3 rounds at this event.
Yeah, definitely. Hole 12, par 4, 650 feet. You're going to want to throw a big drive with just a little bit of turnover on it. Ideally, get all the way to the top of the ridge and set up your 200-foot shot down the tunnel to this basket. Keeps going downhill behind it, so there is a speed control issue. It's hard to get the disc down quick enough sometimes. Just got to make sure you get yourself in a spot where you can access that tunnel.
A swirly destroyer going with here and just catches the top of that Christmas pine. I don't know if it affected it that much.
It wasn't. It was pretty friendly. I was worried it was going to blow it up worse.
Okay. A little bit shorter than you'd like to be, perhaps.
It might have robbed me of 30 feet, but it's my own fault for hitting a tree.
Yeah. Of course it is. I'd like to take some blame, but I can't.
No, I can't put that on you, man.
I can't. Thank you. And Nikko, good position. A little bit, maybe left of where he'd like to be. Ideal position if you like to go with the forehand and hyzer route, which I don't think Nikko does want to do that. But I could be wrong.
Steve up high on the right side.
Still probably another 50 feet short of where you'd really like to be.
And Dollar's hitting some branches. Rarely hit branches there. Going with that high Annie, and he's found Christmas trees. But he is on the edge. The Christmas trees don't bother him that much, especially with the thumber, though.
Oh, man.
Gunning it down there. Take a couple bounces. Yes.
Wow. Right up to between 1 and 2 circle.
Not bad.
Or circle 1, circle 2. However you prefer to say that sentence.
Steve with the putter.
Just too far up the hill to the right to really get something as turned over as he would probably prefer. But, man, he's looking at it, too. That's a good shot from where he was.
Firebird for me.
Wow. Okay.
And smack off a tree.
And that's really pushing. I mean, as close as you can be on the left side. That
even it touched a tree.
Right. And Nikko fools me once again with the forehand and hyzer. And that also is putting. So we've got 4 looks. Nothing inside the circle.
Steve up first. Just low.
My money says dollars in.
Oh, very close.
Okay. Great putt. Just under the black hole band there. As high as you can ever hope to see it go in.
Yep.
And Nikko.
Some sarcastic yeahs there. He did not like that out of his hand. Pars for all these guys. Hole 13, par 3, 405 feet downhill the whole way. About 2/3 of the way to the pin, you've got these woods and you've got to hit this tunnel, get the disc down as far as you can. There's a nice ditch down there to collect some of the shots, but there's a lot of trees in between the tee and the basket. You want to get down here under the bridge somewhere in that area to set up a circle one putt if possible. I'm going with the Firebird here.
Good little flex. It's just got to miss that corner tree. Unreal. Oh, perfect. One of the better sidearms I've ever seen on this hole. It is so tricky to keep this in the parameters of the fairway without going too wide. Minimal left to right spin. Perfect skip across the ditch to a tap in. Don't hit your head.
I was happy, man. I kept it really, really straight. Didn't really even get very close to any trees, which is a first for me on this hole.
I mean, I would imagine if you guys have ever seen me play, not that this is about me, but I throw a lot of forehands. I've played this event for 10 years. I've birdied this hole once.
Wow.
In 10 years, dude. And it's only 405 feet, and it's a straight shot. And I've done forehand almost every single time. So it just tells you, I don't know if that tells you anything, but maybe
it's not easy, maybe.
Maybe this is more about me than the hole. I think it probably is.
And Steve needs some turnover. He's not getting it, though. This is starting to drift on him. Dollar's got turn on this, but is it too much turn? Yeah, a little bit.
He's going with the
a good
vector.
Kick, though. Good kick.
And the vector has a nice little kick down there. He's got maybe 50 feet or so left to the pin. Oh, that's unforced error. And Nikko, man,
Ooh.
giving a little bit of a bid from in a pretty tricky spot.
Steve for his par. Dollar for a birdie, 50 feet or so.
Throw it straight. Gotta throw it straight.
Nikko par, Matt par, Steve par.
And
oh no, bogey. Steve bogey. My
Steve
fault.
bogey,
My fault. I forgot about that upshot.
And look at that.
Nice easy birdie.
Wow. Yeah, really easy.
Happy to have it. And a turkey for me.
Wow. Yep. Great.
Hole 14, par 3, 420 feet downhill over the water with the basket perched right there on the edge. You're going to want to go with a backhand driver here. Try to get across. Ideally, really hit below the basket if you're feeling frisky. If you get above the basket, you're likely to skip big and you're probably going to be laying up. So hard to control the disc and keep it short enough once you get across the water.
And you're going with a destroyer here?
Yep, destroyer.
Look like there's a big germ bottom stamp?
There is.
All right.
Jomez on top, big germ on bottom.
And this is looking really nice. Oh, wow. Just outside the circle. if you don't hit that hillside with the driver, it's almost impossible to keep it in the circle. The ground is so skippy there.
A little lower or a little shorter. We're either talking about an ace or a
Right.
park job, but slid out a little. This is great from Nikko. A little bit of Annie just to delay the fade. And we buzz the basket twice in a row.
The trust it takes to rip an Anheuser over the water like that is just impressive.
This is such a fun spot to stand and watch discs come in where this gallery is.
Yeah, and that's why there's a bunch of people out there. And
Uh-oh, Dollar's cruising for the second lake over here. And he has stayed safe, but barely. By inches, he's safe.
that's an overstable photon there. Oh, no. Steve going with a super wide hyzer, and he has dropped down OB. Has to proceed to the drop zone. Good effort from there, but that's going to be an unfortunate.
Dollar took a long time on this shot, so I know it was very difficult. Because he's a pretty quick player, and he took a long time down there trying to figure out his options.
This is 100%. You have to go for this, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just so scary. I mean, you have to be where Nate is there and looking straight at the water with the sun kind of coming down.
It was sun in the face pretty bad, too.
Right. And Nikko's
not bothered.
Back rounds with twos on hole 14. Somebody asked me earlier today, what's the hardest water hole in the course? And I just kind of had to look at him like with a blank face, like, are you serious? Like,
yeah, there's two pretty easy ones.
Yeah.
And there's one hard one.
This is like the hardest hole on the course. But yeah, this is a very, very tough hole. And to pick up 2 birdies on this one, you're picking up 3 strokes on the field on average.
Probably. Hole 15, par 3, 355, a beautiful woods hole over the gully here. Got to keep the disc as straight as possible, fairway driver or mid-range. Take a little bit of a slide up towards the pin. There actually is a small drop-off behind the pin, so if you're coming in with a lot of speed, you're going to find yourself outside circle 1. Nikko goes with a flex here.
Wow.
A rarely seen play.
Wow, and there's apparently a really good line. And I know that because Nikko's trying.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
Really interesting play. Are you going for a hyzer?
I just tried to go right up the middle. Leopard 3,
Leopard
but I
3.
yanked this.
Okay. I saw the wide rim, and I thought there is a hyzer that I saw a player go with yesterday, and I was intrigued.
Yeah, I'm trying to go with a slight hyzer release on the Leopard 3, but straight up the middle. That one grip locked. I took the Nikko line with the opposite of the Nikko disc.
Oh, and Dollard takes the straight down the gut line. Fantastic
Great shot
there.
to 35 feet.
It's throwing a wrath here on hole 15. Not to be confused with another disc. It sounds like wrath.
And Steve... Oh, you hear me calling for an ace. It looked like an ace run from where we were.
Look, I'm going to need you to be patient with your commentary.
You don't think I can say go in?
No, because you're going to do commentary the next day, and you know it.
Okay, here's me lining up an absolutely impossible putt. This was a huge strategic error. There was no reason to run it, and I just got greedy. I just felt like, because it needed to bounce off a branch to go in. It was that impossible. Steve, a little low. But yeah, I was so mad at myself after that.
Yeah, you're earning the Sexton last name back.
Mm-hmm.
And Dollar is in on his birdie.
Beautiful birdie.
Really such a fun form to watch. It's just so different. There's no one that putts in the same style as Matt Dollar.
I need to make this, save a par.
That's not in.
And it was the easiest layup ever if I wanted to lay it up. But I just lost sight of it for a second.
Nice one.
And Nikko takes a pretty substantial skip off the basket. He's going to have a pressure putt to save his par.
Wow.
Man, 2 bogeys via putting error for our group, and two pretty angry guys.
Yeah, you look livid.
Oh, you know it.
Like you're melting. Nikko seems to be pretty calm about it, but you, on the other hand, is this real
That's
time?
not a SloMez.
That's not a SloMez. Oh my god.
Hole 16, par 3, 530-foot tunnel shot. This one is very, very tough. You're going at this hill, got to get over that rise, and then down here through the swamp all the way to the field. Anything that gets out is a fantastic shot. You see some players go right up the middle. Some people kind of leak it out to the right and try to hyzer back through the trees. It's right there for the taking, but it takes an absolutely threaded shot.
And of course, you'd see typical thumber on this hole. That's what you typically see here for most players.
Perfect shot, though. I mean, that's all he's looking for. Just get down the middle.
I think there's no player in this field that would say if you guaranteed them all pars in this hole, they wouldn't take it. Well, I can't say that for certain. I've seen some people.
Steve's got a lot of hyzer on this. There is OB over there.
There's a lot of trees too that can stop you.
He didn't hit any trees, but he did say safe.
Okay.
He like tombstoned into a rotten stump right by the water.
Oh my gosh, interesting.
Nikko's gone pretty right here.
That will be an obstructed approach shot for Mr. Locastro.
And here I'm queuing up a very angry forehand orc.
Oh yeah. That has made it out the gap, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. That is very angry.
I was...
You cannot get a forehand out that gap all the way unless you're
You got to be
mad.
a little bit angry to do that. Those 500-foot forehands, they don't...
No.
They don't come out too often.
No. Nikko with a good forehand. Excuse me. Backhand hyzer.
You see Steve? He's right here next to the OB, but he stayed in.
Kind of looks like a wildebeest in National Geographic there with that little backdrop there. I kind of liked it. And this is for a big two.
Birdie putt from circle's edge.
Oh, count it.
And right after I made that, I said to my dad, my caddy, that had I not screwed up the last hole, I would never have birdied this. So either way, it's 6 strokes.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sure.
The only way I had the power was via anger.
Right, okay.
And it worked out.
Can you channel that anger?
Occasionally. Right. You saw me do it here.
The season is over, and it is time to order your 2019 Pro Tour trading cards. Top 50 MPO, top 15 FPO, plus our limited release specialty cards. Pre-orders are guaranteed at least one limited release specialty card in each pack or deck.
Hole 17, par 4, 650 feet uphill over the Christmas trees. Players are looking to get their distance driver to move slightly right and get into this shaded area up near the mouth of this tunnel to set up an easy approach shot down to the elevated basket. You also have a bit of a drop off behind it, so you'd really like to get as far as possible, allowing you to just slide a putter up there and have a low stress birdie putt. One of the easiest holes on the course, but you still have to execute.
It is the easiest hole in the course, according to par, averaging a quarter of a stroke below par. And that's a good spot.
I'm using my flippiest destroyer there. I'm pretty happy with that.
Dollar throwing his octane here. Not quite getting as much turnover as I'm sure he would like for ideal positioning, but being the thumber thrower he is, maybe that's actually a really good spot to kind of have a nice stall, slow thumber coming into the green. Steve with the inside line. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, that's out into the short grass.
And this, if it can stay up, is looking really good. Yeah, that's where you want to be. You can see the pin from there. Just a short jump putt. Nikko does a little half throw from that distance. That's going to be real easy for him.
Dollar's getting a little bit.
Okay, surprised to not see him throw the thumber there. Just so used to seeing him throw that for all kinds of shots. It's left with about 35 to 40 feet on an elevated pin.
Steve with the putter. This looks like great speed. Oh yeah. R-Pro dart for me.
Oh yeah. That'll be back-to-back birdies there after the bogey. And Nikko with a little pitch with the putter, and yeah, maybe leaving... Yeah, it's leaving a lot of hair on the head. Oh yeah, look at that. A downhill to an elevated basket. It's almost like a normal putt.
Yeah, but except a giant chasm behind it.
Right.
Oh, nice.
WWF.
What are you doing, man?
That is not taking advantage of it. Just impeccable drive.
Yeah.
Oof.
A little bit of a miscue there. Gonna end up with the only par on the card pending this result.
And it's in. And Sexton, you've taken the lead from the lead card here for the moment.
Yeah, got myself to double digits. Took a little longer than planned, but we're there now, so let's do it. Hole 18, par 4, 680 feet. This is the new lengthened pin. Germ and I both love this change. Makes the hole a little bit tougher, a little more strategy introduced. You got to go with as big a drive as you can off the tee to set yourself up for a turnover or a forehand to this island green. That little strip of land in between the stone walls is OB.
And this is a flip-up destroyer off to the left side, which is ideal landing zone there if you want to go forehand approach into the green.
And Dollar a little too overstable here. This is leaking to the left edge of the woods. Steve needs to get out of that tree. He's kind of found himself right under a tree. Unfortunate place to land.
You see the graphic pop up just a minute ago. 4.62 average Nikko. Wow, that was heading way into the woods. One of the best kicks you can possibly imagine from that early of a release.
Yes.
It's going to put him out of position to go for the green, but that'll set up for a very easy 4, most likely.
Dollar's gone kind of up under these trees. Not quite where he was aiming, I'm sure. Nikko playing hyzer to lay up. Out to the tip, set up a long look at birdie. Steve, hyzer layup as well. Nothing else he could do from that location.
Looks like you have the go for it disc in hand here.
Yeah, got the Firebird up in the air.
Yeah, that's going to be a turkey finish. It's going to move you up to 11 under par. But if you take a look at that leaderboard, well, maybe it was on there, maybe it wasn't. There is some action going on from other cards. We'll tell you about that in just a second.
Absolutely. Nikko with a long look for his birdie 3. Can he stay up? No, it's just a layup.
Steve from long range. Really good at that distance, giving him runs, but leaving the disc close to the basket at the same time. Dollar circles edge.
Nice. Nice save.
Nothing better than finishing with a big long putt on the green in front of the big fun gallery. There's always so much action going on in this green, and it's always nice to tap out and everybody claps and calls your name out. It's just a there's no finishing hole quite like 18 at Maple Hill. It's a truly unique place.
I've got my birdie pars for the rest of the group. Really happy to be able to storm back with a 5 under on the back 9 to find some kind of a good round at the end of the day.
There, yeah, for sure. Just a few red there for Steve. And wow, Ricky Wysocki,
14 down today, right?
1 under after round 1. 13 down, 1108 rated,
yes.
round 2, 46.
Unreal.
It's just a dream round.
Picked up an ace out there all the way into the lead. We've got great action coming up. Final day, MVP Open. You got to check it out.